Hey there! Stay logged on to your number one award-winning online radio station, Hafak Radio, the radio for the society.
Hello, beautiful sisters. This is Hafak Radio, the number one radio for the society. I'm Beebah, your humble and beautiful host for the show, and I welcome you all to another edition of the show with the best of greetings, saying Assalamu alaikum, yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my beautiful sisters. Alhamdulillah, it's another beautiful edition of the show Muslimah's World with Beebah, and it's a show that keeps you on track with everything that actually happens with Muslimah. It's actually for the ladies most especially. It's a show that actually boosts your confidence and you knowing yourself, irrespective of the fact that you are wearing a hijab. It doesn't hinder you from being a good female and upright one for that matter. So I'm so glad to be here with you guys this week, irrespective of the fact that you might have had a long day and a stressful day, or been through heavy traffic, or you've got lots of worries. Haba, not to worry, just sit back, feel relaxed, and groove with me on this beautiful edition of Muslimah's World with Beebah. Oh yes, speak on previous edition. I really appreciate your reviews. I'm immensely grateful. I appreciate your comments, your reviews, and all of that. Thanks for the encouragement too. I say a big jazakumullah khairan to everyone. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. May Allah uplift you all and bless you beyond your expectations. And to those that keep supporting me, irrespective of my imperfections, you support me the best way you can. I say a big and beautiful jazakumullahu khairan to you. Oh, may Allah's blessings never cease upon you. I really appreciate you. Shukran jazilan. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. So for today, I'm going to be talking about something very beautiful and interesting. It's a wonderful and lovely topic. It's so much inspiring. It's going to be very much impacting to us. It's really, really worth discussing, because as Muslims, we are restricted to some things at times which is not meant to be. Sometimes we're judged unnecessarily. Why? It's not supposed to be so. As Muslims, can't we be granted freedom to fulfill our choices? Can't we? I feel sometimes we should just be free to do what we wish to do, because it's actually our choice. So we have the right to. Because I don't understand why a Muslim woman should be downgraded or underestimated, or because she is a Muslimah. Why? First of all, I would love to ask, who is a Muslimah? A Muslimah is actually referred to as a female Muslim practicing the religion Islam, and that comes in what is Islam itself. Islam is a religion that teaches that there is only one God, Allah, who is merciful, all-powerful, and unique one, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the messenger of God. The primary scriptures of Islam are the Quran, believed to be the unaltered and verbatim word and final revelation of God, as well as the teachings and normative examples called the Sunnah, composed of accounts called hadiths of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Religious concepts and practices include the 5 pillars of Islam, which is Iman, Salat, Zakat, Hajj, and all of that, which are obligatory acts of worship, as well as following Islamic law Sharia, which teaches on virtually every aspect of life and society, from banking and welfare to women and the environment. So now, having talked about Muslimah and Islam, it coins out the culture of dressing in Islam as a Muslimah. As a Muslimah, the rule of dress for women is modesty. Yes, it's actually modesty. You being a Muslimah, your dressing actually defines your modesty. which is covering with the hijab. Yes, our modesty is actually covering with the hijab. It's actually covering with the hijab. So that brings up the beautiful topic for today. I got this as an inspiration from a friend. Like, I got questioned on why the hijab is necessary. So I thought I could share with you guys on today's edition. And the topic is veiling or not as a Muslimah. Yes, veiling or not as a Muslimah. Before we go into details, I would like to ask, as a Muslimah, why do you wear the hijab? What exactly is hijab to you? What do you think the hijab is? If you're questioned by a non-Muslim why you wear the hijab, what would be your response? Well, I'll leave it to that thought while we go on a quick break. Go nowhere, we'll be right back. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back on board. It's still Hafak Online Radio, and you're listening to Muslimah's World with Beebah. I remain your humble and beautiful host, Beebah. Back to the question I asked, which is, what is the hijab? What does it mean to wear the hijab? Why do we wear the hijab and all of that? Many women who cover talk about it as a way of demonstrating their submission to God and a constant reminder to hold fast to Islamic beliefs such as being honest and generous to those in need. So to some women, it's actually a way to show their submission to God and a constant reminder to them that, okay, they should hold fast to their deen, and also by being honest and generous to those in need. For many other women, the headscarf has become a means of resistance to standards of feminine beauty and demand more exposure. Like, to some people, they feel you wearing the hijab, you're limited to fashion and well exposed. According to researchers, women in hijabs note that employers must interact with them based on their qualifications rather than their appearance, and that therefore the hijab levels the playing field. In Western countries, women find wearing a head covering makes it harder to get hired. Like, in some Western countries, they feel it's going to hinder them in getting a job because the employers feel they won't be able to actually express more, impact more value or very, very much efficient in their work out because of their covering, and it's not supposed to be so. Okay, let me share an experience I had a few years ago when I I got employed as a teacher in a primary school, and on my first day at work, the proprietor came into the class and was like, Beebah, you've been employed here, would you be able to work with your hijab on? That it's not really comfortable, you putting on your hijab and working. Yeah, okay, fine, it was a Christian school, but I feel it won't really be so good, you teaching the students and all of that. And I was like, it doesn't affect anything I'm going to do. What matters most is the value I'm going to impact in these children, and that is what is necessary. And I'm going to make it very much impactful on them. And that's what is necessary in this whole business. And I made my ground, and alhamdulillah, I made sure I actually impacted the value into the children positively. And in fact, when I was going, even the parents didn't want me to go, they felt the value very much well and they appreciated it, and that is what is very much important. Okay, I have another scenario of someone who, that's quite how many years back? I think 2009 to 2010. She's actually a banker, so she's just fresh, she just new into the banking job, and she was still working at the cashier table and whatsoever they call the table. So She's a Muslimah. So on that Friday, she actually went for Juma at a mosque. Just barely 30 minutes that she had. Just observe Juma and get back to work. So after Juma that day, she noticed an elderly woman was staring at her, like was just looking. And she sent, maybe the sales girl or someone, like a young lady, to come call her. And she came. She actually went with her suits, like she went to with her suits. So the woman was like, she said when she got to the woman's place, she actually said testing to her. And the woman was like, are you a banker? Because you look like a banker. And she said, yes, ma. Okay, she was like, for the fact that you're Muslim, I like really appreciate that. And I feel you'll be sincere with me. I have issues, like the elderly woman was explaining to her that she had issues with her bank and she really wants a reliable one that's like she should sincerely tell her what kind of bank services our bank renders and if they'll be able to give her good services. And she actually spoke to the woman, they had a little chat and she's like, okay, fine, how would she actually open an account with the bank? And they both talked and they parted. That was on a Friday. On the Monday, the woman deposited, for a start, 10 million naira into the account. And everybody at our workplace were amazed. Our colleagues were like, wow, when did you get into this job that you just, how fast, how is it possible? That was, okay, I think some days again, like maybe 2 or 3 days spacing, she deposited another 30 million naira, making 40 million naira or more. The general manager asked someone called her that, baby girl, how come? How are you doing this? And how is this possible? Even your colleagues your seniors actually have been into this job for how many years, haven't made this big hit. How come? And she was just like, God, and luckily for the fact that she was wearing, okay, she's actually a Muslim, and I do appreciate the fact that she's actually in the deen and she's working well, so she got that potential customer just like that, and that boosted her promotion so fast. And as we speak now, she is the general manager, branch manager at our branch, and she's doing very well now. She's very well, alhamdulillah. So wearing the hijab doesn't hinder you giving good values that you're expected to do at all. It doesn't even hinder it at all. And finally, for some women, the headscarf is a convenience. It can reduce comments from others about women being out in public and lessen incidents of harassment on the street and at work. You know, most times when you're with your hijab, even on the road, even when you see the touts and all of that, they actually give you the respect. They call you the respect. Okay, fine. They give you the respect. She's an halaja. Just leave her alone. She's covering. Just let her be. So it's because of the way you actually portray yourself. It's the modesty they see in you. That's why they accord you the respect. Veiling has become a concern in many Muslim communities when talking about women's identities. Historically speaking, veiling has been practiced by Muslim women in Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu era to differentiate between Muslim women and non-Muslim women. Back then, it was a mode of identity to them. Let me put it that way. It was a mode of identity that, okay, fine, this differentiates between a Muslim and a non-Muslim with a hijab. At that time, veils were worn to protect women from insult and harassment. Like, the veils then were worn to actually protect them from harassment and unnecessary talks and all of that. So the hijab is a principle of modesty in Islamic culture, as well as the word used to define the veil Muslim women wear. Hijab, however, goes beyond the headscarf. Yes, let's get that very straight and right. Hijab goes beyond the headscarf. It's not just limited to your head alone. Okay, fine, because your head is covered, you're actually not covering other parts that are supposed to be covered, like your hawra and places that are not supposed to be revealing and all of that. So wearing the hijab is not just limited to the head alone. It goes beyond the headscarf or your head wrap or anything. It should actually conceal places that are not supposed to be visible or revealing. The hijab refers to the complete covering of everything except the hands, face, and sometimes feet. And long, loose, and non-see-through garments. It shouldn't be transparent. It should be very